Hi everyone, this is Karak from ACG, and I'm burnt, carbon scored, and might have a case of Womp Rat as I bring to you the review in progress for Star Wars Battlefront. The game without battles in space. Star Wars Battlefront is a mixture of on-your-feet action with in-air space battles, and even throws in a pissed-off Darth Vader once in a while to remind you that no matter how good you are with a blaster, folksy religions can kick your ass. So let's just jump right into it. As always, this is a review in progress video and not a review. So that being said, let's fly into the asteroid field of differing opinion and see what we got. Graphics are up first. Now, listen, this thing is absolutely rock solid. The frame rate never seems to take a hit, and there does seem to be a couple improvements on effects throughout the level since the beta. One thing I noticed is entering icy caves, there's a fiber-like icy tendril that is actually created when moist, frozen air sticks in cave entrances, and it's here and mimicked, and there's a sheen to almost everything of professional polish across the frame rate and the resolution. Now, resolution looks unchanged from the beta, but I haven't grabbed my microscope and started counting the stair steps on my TV screen yet. I think for all concerned, I'm just going to have to say it looks excellent and performs incredibly well. Whether dancing across the wet leaves of a forest of Endor as Empire stormtroopers burn up the foliage around you, or running through sandstorm remnants on Tatooine, the game just really looks amazing through and through. Now, sure, there are some texture resolution issues that could be improved on characters and faces, but frankly, you're rarely up close enough to smooch, and this game isn't called Let's Go Up and French Kiss a Stormtrooper. What's there is really good. I guess I could mention that in the forested planets, you do see some pop-up and architecture draw-in, but nothing substantial, while PBR lighting and various explosions and debris effects can leave most battle arenas looking like a damn demolition derby. As a presentation piece so far, Star Wars delivers boxes of Minox, which is awesome if you're not a nerd. And that brings us to sound, music, and voice. And as always, sound is up first. It's Star Wars, and it nails it. This is either the best or close to the best audio work in a video game title this generation without any arguments. It has clean and crisp sound effects throughout the entire title. It's going to be interesting to hear some of the more powerful weapons once people level up, but so far the guitar bomb, as I like to call it from the prequels, goes off and sounds movie perfect, as do all the blasters, and though I've never had my head cut off by a lightsaber, I'm pretty sure that sounds real as well. Music. Listen, this is Mr. Williams. Not much can go wrong unless the wrong Mr. Williams showed up, and here he doesn't. This is Star Wars music through and through, which means you can either be a fan of it or not, and I am, and I love it, and the dynamic hooks seem to be handled well throughout, fading from action to moments of hero hunting through haunted ice caves, all handled really well. Voice. You know, for the most part, you have a bunch of fakes doing the voices, and they do an okay job, though no one's going to nail Vader perfectly. They might as well have just got Rick Moranis to recite Dark Helmet jokes. But in the end, they do an okay job and they try. Everyone does their best. It's just a low-level delivery anyway. Gameplay. So now that everything's unlocked, with multiplayer you have all manner of mission types, with the big dogs like Walker Assault and Supremacy weighing in at 20 versus 20. But sadly, it's like someone said, you know what, let's not have too much fun, and the Supremacy and Cargo game types are restricted to only 4 maps, which is obviously done because some people out there somewhere doesn't like choice. Now, smaller gameplay types like the oddly titled and played Hero Hunt are 7 versus 1. Now, most of the multiplayer versions have no bots, while the single-player gameplay modes have a bevy of options, from hero battles to squad horde style to the main training missions, all of them with their own challenges set up within the system. And these challenges are incredible ways to level up, gaining experience for things like exterminating a certain number of good guys and other random hoops that the devs can put in your way. It's an effective metagame within the overall one and builds on the gameplay pillars that are already established, allowing for a really cool successive and closed loop. So far, connecting is almost instantaneous, but I think let's wait until the full release to really judge anything like that. Jump into a game and get a brief rundown of the rules, and then you're off. And you, of course, always have that ability to outfit your character with a special hand of cards like Scoundrel, which gives you certain specific special items, or make your own. All items and customizations are unlocked via level, as well as buying them, locking most content, I think, behind the typical 2-tiered locking system of multiplayer games. I also think it's here that we're going to see either the ultimate success or failure of Battlefront is the customizations on both sides, though somewhat deep, do many times consist of Stormtrooper Dude number 1 or Stormtrooper Dudette number 2. That's an exaggeration, but it will be interesting to see if these unlocks pay off as proper potential pathways for continued gamer interaction with the title, or if gamers will grow bored with the same overall graphical leanings of the customizations. I get that we can't have much craziness in Star Wars. Customization games like this really can't do a lot, especially when they have a lockdown fiction, but it feels as if they played it incredibly safe. Now, lag currently is almost non-existent, and combat is as furious in the multiplayer arena as I think anybody could expect. However, some multiplayer modes are just frankly really odd, like the hero hunt, which has one person against 7, and whomever kills the hero becomes the hero, but within minutes I found almost all players just waiting for other people to wound the hero so they could dash in and kill him, thus becoming the hero time and time again, resulting in nothing more than an odd roller coaster of inactivity and then furied activity. It was really just unsportsmanlike. It wasn't enjoyable at all. Now, there are some balance issues that still need to be worked out. Many of the heroes versus villains games appeared to be very one-sided, with one team getting lucky to assert dominance and it being force-choked into oblivion from that point on. It could just be players not understanding the overall gameplay types, but I think in all honesty, just as we saw with the beta, there's going to be some adjustments here and there. Now, I know a lot of people have questions about single player, and it's awesome with some split screen and of course online co-op. It's quick to connect whichever version you do and jump into and plays well, but nothing you do in single player at all helps you in multiplayer. Now, many are going to be fine with that, I get it, but personally I would have liked to have seen some balance, some give and take there, even if it was a series of diminishing returns to get some items or just some unlocks. So far, there are 12 maps on 4 planets, and though they do share similarities in the ecosystems, they do play, I would say, different enough. But in all honesty, even after 8 hours, they were getting a bit thin. Now, vehicle control still appears to need some finagling, as some vehicles like the AT-ST performing admirably, ships just don't control that well, even when you get good with them. They're doable. You can play and do well with them because everybody has the sort of same crappy controls, but they lack a fidelity that an experienced developer might have put into them. And so far, aside from the whoosh of your hair and the skid marks you leave in your shorts riding the speeder bike at full speed, much of it seems fairly clumsy. And I got to admit though, that speeder bike, holy crap, you guys, when you get this, you need to jump into Andor. That shit's awesome. Now, lastly, both third person and first person seem to be usable modes here, with both offering their, of course, positives and negatives to gameplay that I assume people are going to exploit as they learn the ropes and identify which one they want to use. TTK seems fine, and that's time to kill for people who aren't used to it. On some game modes, it can be particularly gruesome, depending on timing, luck, and if the force is or isn't with you, depending on spawns. But I still think it's okay, though some levels it certainly does seem to be crushed a bit. Now, fun factor. It is fun, it really is. I'm not sure for how long though. As everyone knows, if you want more time on the EA Access trial, simply make a guest account on the Xbox One and you can basically play until your heart's content. So for now, I'm just digging in and trying to see what this thing offers and see if some of these problems are rectified and some of these good times seem to go down. If not, you know, there's a good deal of game, but it sort of has to prove to me a little bit more before I rate it a buy myself. So anyway, that's it for me and my first impressions. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys are jumping in if you have an Xbox One, enjoying EA Access. As I said, remember, you can make a guest account. You can play as long as you want. Just keep making guest accounts on your Xbox One. So that's it for me. If you liked the video, hit like. If you disliked it, hit dislike, and peace out.